We've gone down those rabbit holes to learn and understand more about what's the truth, what's the reality of psychiatric medications. And the reality is any psych med that you're taking on a daily basis or very regularly, your body develops a physiological dependence on it. Period. End of story.
And I wanted to ask you, I follow Dr. Campbell all the time, and I love her content. One of the things she talks about is, how long it takes to titrate off of medications, how long, that you shouldn't just go cold turkey because you can end up with severe problems from it. Do you have, like a protocol for that? Or how do you help people that are wanting to get off medications and get onto a safer treatment that's actually going to heal them rather than just treat the symptoms? Like, what's the protocol for that? How do you approach that?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I'll just speak to this whole idea, this concept of withdrawal from any psychiatric medication, except for the benzodiazepines, traditionally not acknowledged in the traditional Western community. Your traditional doctor will not acknowledge withdrawal from SSRIs, antipsychotics. And so I would say we've done the research through the peer-based online support communities. There's so much incredible information now out there, and now from some of the more kind of like the other renegade psychiatrists out there. We've gone down those rabbit holes to learn and understand more about what's the truth, what's the reality of psychiatric medications. And the reality is any psych med that you're taking on a daily basis or very regularly, your body develops a physiological dependence on it. Period. End of story. And so withdrawal. So if you're told to stop, you've been taking, say, for example, if you've been taking Prozac for 2 years, and at a certain point you're like, maybe I don't need this anymore. I'm feeling good. My circumstances changed. I've learned. I've grown. I'm taking care of my health. And your doctor might tell you, okay, well, just cut that in half for a few weeks and then stop. Worst thing they'll tell you is cold turkey. Disastrous. Second worst thing they'll tell you, cut it in half for a couple weeks and stop. Or cut it in half for a couple weeks and then half again for a couple weeks and then stop. I've seen, I don't know how many people now, countless people go through torture, what they'll use the words torturous, horrendous, worst experience of my life, withdrawal symptoms. And you are 100% right that the withdrawal symptoms mimic the original illness or distress. It mimics that. So then the person is then immediately told, oh, look, see, you were sick. Go back on the medication. And so people, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands or millions of people are stuck on meds in a merry-go-round for this very thing, because this whole phenomenon of withdrawal is just like, to me, I've been out of it long enough in this kind of realm so long. It's surreal to me. Yeah. It's just absolutely surreal that that's not acknowledged. So what I would say is your question about what's our protocol. It's the holistic approach. So we are going to gear a person up with all of the good, nourishing stuff that they need in their system. So biologically, like physiologically, supplements, diet, exercise. Mentally, we're going to therapy, because there was an original distress. There was something, originally something happened where there was an original distress that needs to be addressed. So therapy, and then holistic relaxation practices and all that kind of stuff to prep a person to then be able to taper their medications. And then our tapering protocol is, we don't have a set protocol, kind of going with this thing of every person's body is different. But I'll give you an example of our approach for somebody is, so in the traditional system, it's, cut it in half for 2 weeks and stop. What we'll say is, okay, you're on your original dose of medication. More ballpark for us would be, let's do a 15% reduction and then wait at least 1 month, 1 to 3 months, we'll have that person at that dose. That's ballpark. Okay. Everybody comes in at a different dosing levels of their meds, what they've been through before, what they're going through now. I mean, I've got a person reducing at 0.02% of a medication. I've got, sometimes it's 10%, or sometimes it's 5% or 16.7%. But what we're doing and what we do with each person and each reduction is we sit down and we go through the whole thing of what's going on, which medication, how much, what's your intuition about it. I'll tell you my input, my information. And then we always, at that point, basically come to like a dose that we feel like, yeah, okay, that's about right. So we do a reduction, and then we watch their reduction. We watch their withdrawal pattern. We start to try to learn their withdrawal pattern. So that first reduction, keep an eye on it. What's going on? What week did you experience? What symptoms and all that kind of stuff? Then we reconvene and assess. Okay, what happened? What did you think? What is your thought? And the idea being is that we turn withdrawal symptoms into nuisance level rather than intolerable or horrific level.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring them to a point where a person can live their life, do their daily thing, make it, but still be, progressing toward their goal of the reduced dose. It's the no protocol. I mean, it has an essence, like a framework like that. And I review it with every person. I go through, here's the whole thing. You taper one medication at a time, our ballpark percentages and timings. But, it's not always right. Like I just got somebody who she found her Prozac reduction sweet spot is every 7 weeks. And now it's like clockwork. Yeah. We do 10% every 7 weeks. And it's like, boo. And I'm watching her face brighten every time I see her, like the next appointment, next time. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's really, really cool to see people reclaim their true position in their whole healing journey, that to truly claim their power in their life's journey. It's super fun.